Rap Roundtable.
So back in the 80s, you know, I've been watching Winning Time. Jerry Buss, the legend, Dr. Jerry Buss, rest in peace, bought the Lakers. And there was a lot of skepticism about what this franchise would be. Would they be anything? Would they be a joke situation? And when you watch Winning Time, you get the idea that the Lakers that we know today is a far cry from where they were around 1979, 1980. There was a lack of belief. But then by the end of that decade, 5 championships, 9 finals appearances, Showtime was born. The NBA that we know today is not here without the Showtime Lakers, a dynasty of all dynasties. Am I right? And I feel the same way about this Hitboy and Nas run. When we got the KD one, skepticism, question marks. Nasir happened. We weren't sure about what the next phases of Nas's career would be, but we would give Hitboy a shot because he's a young dude next to a legend. And I felt like in the early stages of the Rap Roundtable, we was like, yo, get the young dudes and the legends need to get together. Stop fighting each other and get together. By the end of this run, they the Showtime Lakers. They kept rolling it out. They kept winning. They kept the conversation forward. The space is reinvigorated. The spitters everywhere. Shout out to Griselda. If they're the Showtime Lakers and Griselda's the Boston Celtics, those are the two movements that are the most important piece of this reinvigoration of lyricism. And I feel like we hit our keynote with Magic 3. Since Rap Stomp has his hands up. What's going on, bro?
Can I take it a different direction real quick?
Do it, bro. Do it.
I say you taking it to the Lakers in the 80s. I say this is the Chicago Bulls in the 90s.
Wow, 6 for 6.
And Nas is the Michael Jordan.
Okay.
Of the entire game.
That's where we going. That's where we going.
That's where we're at. You see me in my Nas shirt.
Okay.
In my Queens colors.
Okay.
Orange beanie is back on deck.
Yo, where's that guy been?
4-6. Let's go. Let's talk
set the
about
scene. It's your boy Jawfair alongside Sincere Rap Snob.
What up?
Alongside the homie Mace. Happy birthday to Deanie. He's out celebrating. Deanie, we wish we were with you in that island that you are on. You earned it. You deserve it. Well deserved. Do it more often. Magic 3 happened.
Yes.
There's nothing else to talk about. This is the album. Sincere Rap Snob. Let's go.
Listen, man. Like I just said, man, Nas is the Michael Jordan of this rap shit. If there was any doubt before this, there's no doubt now. You know what I mean? And he found his Scottie Pippen in Hitboy. That's what it. Not to say that like he didn't have runs before. Not to say he doesn't have classics before this. Not to say he didn't have chips before this. But the double three-peat, 6 for 6, 6 chips in a row.
Yeah.
Hitboy on deck by his side. Like that's it, man. This run to me is the equivalent, and I don't give a fuck who hates the sports analogies out there.
Fuck them.
Fuck you. This run to me is the equivalent to the Chicago Bulls run in the 90s. 6 finals appearances and 6 chips. Nas is Jordan. Hitboy is Scottie Pippen. And you know what I mean? Like this album went out like that last shot at Utah.
That's big dog.
It was beautiful to watch. Just like the stroke, just immortalized in history, bro. Like it's beautiful to watch. I have so many thoughts on this, but I don't want to go too overboard too early on in this segment in this episode.
Yeah, let's build to a crescendo.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Mesito, talk to me, good brother.
Now, shouts to Sin. You know what I mean? Sin saying what he's saying about this album. That's always a big plus. You know what I mean? Make me not feel too crazy if I have a similar opinion. But listen, Brandon, honestly, I didn't want to come in here. I came judging this, you know, harshly. I'm not going to, harshly might be a bad word, but I'm just going to say I had high expectations.
Yeah, there it is.
You know what I mean? I had really high expectations. I mean, just like you say, you win 5 chips. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to come in the next season like making the playoffs is a good thing. You know what I mean? Too much basketball analogy. We gotta chill. You know, we're making the folks mad.
Sorry.
But let's be honest here, man. This is a damn good album, bro. Like, track for track, joint for joint, man. Like, it's giving my 2 faves a run for its money, and I know, we doing the 2-hour, reaction. I know you guys might be saying we being presumptuous here, but on the first listen, bro, like, and we gonna delve deep into the album, but just to give an overview, bro, like, some of the best tracks that Nas and Hitboy have ever created are on this joint, bro. And that's just the first listen. You know what I mean? Like, I got my first listen notes. I went back and listened again to make sure I wasn't bugging to see if I had to make it, but goddamn, y'all, like, this is what we expected,
Yeah. It's what we needed.
What we expected. It's what we needed, and this is what we expected because of what these two have done already. But when you expect a championship and the motherfuckers go out there and blow out motherfuckers by 20 in a 4-game sweep, you still say, "God damn," you know what I'm saying? Like, it's and I have different thoughts about the album. I got, I don't want to say like pros and cons, but just different, things about the album. But just on the first listen, y'all, like, this album kind of sort of blew me away, bro. And in a year of underwhelming albums, so joints, albums that weren't artists' best, this is refreshing to hear, bro. I'm not gonna lie. So Job, I gotta see what you got going for this album, because I'm co-signing Sin on this one, man. Sin, he held the polls for him too. Listen, bro.
Man. Hey, look, I got people on Twitter telling me, yo, I gotta switch sides. Like, they real confident. The Nas fans real arrogant on the socials. They saying, yo, you see, he shouted out Jay. They in my mentions. They saying they talking their shit right now. And truth be told, the history of this pod, there's been some combativeness with me and Nas fans, and we always gonna scrap because of my allegiance. The cape I wear, but there's one other cape that I also wear. It's the rap cape. I love good rap more than any individual rapper. I love great rap specifically more than any individual rapper. And with this project, bro, I wish Deanie was here, because Deanie loves Nas when he's in his introspective bag. But Nas did something with this album that him, nor maybe one other guy I can think of, and I'm going to get to him later, has ever done. An introspective album with stadium music aesthetic. Unbelievable. And when I say stadium music, samples, loops, but it's the acoustics. When you playing the shit in your ears, how the beat pauses, it's basically swallowing you. You're getting lost in the sounds, the samples, the melodies, the drums, the rapping. It's like, we do this podcast, and it's like I'm at a loss for words. It's like, we'll come together. All right, so what we gonna talk about? Shit like that, right? Wow. 6 albums in 3 years. How many, like, to repeat the process and then have these pre-album meetings? What do those meetings sound like? All right, so here's talking to Nas. So I'm thinking we're gonna do stadium music this time, and it's not just like, okay, we're gonna do stadium music. Like, how do you get to this point where, again, 6 albums, 6 different aesthetics, different rhyme schemes and pockets for Nas, different subject matters, while at the same time still getting this nostalgia introspective back? How the fuck did they pull this off? Like, when was this album even curated? Was this after Magic 2? Was it Magic 2 and 3 simultaneously? How the fuck did you make an introspective stadium music album? Questions that need answers.
It's one of two things for me. It's either A, as they're working, because like I just seen Hitboy post on Instagram, and he was explaining how, like, once upon a time, like 10 years ago, whatever, 12 years ago, he wrote a little iPhone note for himself. He was like, yo, I just want at least like 3 Nas joint. I want to be able to produce like just 3 Nas joints at the very least, right? Plus a Rihanna record, right? And lo and behold, 12 years later, like he's got 6 full albums with the God.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And so he was also explaining how at this point, the relationship that they have creatively, it's like they check in with each other every day.
They're not co-workers, bro.
Every day.
You know what I mean?
Right.
But it's like, yeah, it's like you got a coworker, but that's by choice.
Right, but I'm saying they're not just coworkers. They're
right.
That work together.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Exactly. So I'm thinking, and that just me speculating, they have so much material that they worked on that somewhere along the way they were able to like parse it out. All right, this one's gonna be for this album. This one's gonna be for that album. You know what I mean? And they start formulating. They it's almost like storyboarding. You know what I mean? Like in the creative process of like creating a movie or a TV show or an animated piece. You know what I mean? You storyboard it. You know what I mean?
6 seasons of Nas and Hitboy.
Exactly. You know what I mean? And as they're progressing and as they're creating the songs, I'm thinking somewhere along the way they were like, all right, this one's gonna be for Magic 2, this one's gonna be for KD 3, this is gonna be for Magic 3, so on and so forth. Because the way this album culminated, it's too perfect for it to just me to just leave it off the chance. The other, you know, the other side of that coin is maybe it just happened by chance. Maybe like their synergy was that in sync that it just worked out this perfectly. But you know what I mean? That's a little too idealistic, I think. You know what I mean? I think there was definitely some planning along the way. Okay. Not you know, outlining everything, leaving some things to chance, but like, you know, putting some pieces together.
I don't mean to cut you off, bro.
No.
But I gotta get this off, beat. Pause. Hitboy heard y'all talking shit. Period. Because the after Magic 2, the consensus was get him out of here. We want Primo, Pete Rock, Salam Remy, some dude around the corner. We don't want Hitboy anymore. There was a whole Twitter movement, and we had the conversation about the Nas fan tribes. There was that certain tribe of Nas fans that was sick of Hitboy, and Hitboy said, I took that personally.
My beer.
Facts. To quote Sincere with his Bulls reference, and I took that personally. I used the Showtime Lakers reference only because I felt like, and we felt like when we started this pod, like the rapping was real stagnant. The space was stagnant. Nigga, we was reviewing Future albums when we started this podcast. Where were the bars? Griselda was there, but it was like, yeah, the Celtics, as I call them, were there. But you need a Lakers to balance out the Celtics. You need another team. You need Showtime. And with all respect to West Side Gun and the Griselda movement, Nas Escobar is Showtime in this situation. The nigga is 30-year fucking legend. If you want to debate that, I will ignore you. I'm not even responding to you. You dig? Because it's like, as much as bars were making a comeback after the pandemic, you needed somebody with that je ne sais quoi, that Q rating, that it factor, to raise the stakes and to do something different. And it's like, I'm really blown away by this album because it's like, I think I got to like No Tears and I'm like, oh, this is something else. And usually I get to that point in the album by like track 9 or 10. Track 5, I'm already like, what the fuck is this? This is not what I thought it was going to be. I kind of wanted another KD3 kind of energy, high roller coaster vibes. But anytime you get into that stadium vibe, dreamy, you could get high to it, you could get drunk to it, you could just chill, honestly, you're not scaring the hoes with this album, bro. Like this, I could keep going. I got more bars. I got a take for Sin that I want to hear what he has to say. Okay, Macito, go ahead, bro.
Nah, you know what point I got to that in the album? I love this feeling. By the time I was listening to that, I was like, okay, I see what's going on.
What's going on here, bro?
I see what they doing, and to elaborate on a hit, like I was during the listening, I said, is this Soul Sample hit? Like, is this what they wanted and this what they got? But you made a good point, right? Like, because you have your producers, they give you the drumless sound. I'm not denigrating it, you know what I mean? You got your stadium, you know what I mean? Go to Ye and them, you know what I mean? You want them stadium joints. You know, you want your soul samples. There's plenty of producers you can get some soul samples from. You know what I mean? Lil Baby's last album has soul samples. But when you talk about Hit Boy, who's delivering all of those on a high level on the same album, bro? Like, come on, man. Like, somehow the hashtag soundscape was reflective. I don't know how you have a reflective soundscape.
Yo, Didi, if you watching, that's a t-shirt. Hashtag soundscape, nigga.
You feel me? And because of just the beats was making Nas pour his heart out over the beats. You know what I mean? I'm like, how is this working? You know what I mean? It's just like Sim said, when you got two people that's chilling with each other all the time, all day, y'all kids know each other, y'all families know each other, y'all women, you know what I mean? It's a different type of synergy, you know what I mean? And while Job, just like you said, Magic 2, they panned it, bro. They did. You know what I mean? The non-Nas section of fans, especially the production. Because I don't think anybody doubted Nas's performance on Magic 2. It was Hit who they was trying to go in on. But the clear thing was that they were experimenting, right? These are a bunch of beats that you would not hear Nas on. He just showed you when he's tailoring beats strictly for Nas what the fuck this shit is supposed to sound like. You know what I mean? Like, man, because when you can give me a beat like I Love This Feeling, but then when you hear some shit like Blue Bentley, I mean, come on, bro. Like, come on, bro. Like, how's that shit better than Blue Benz, my nigga? Like, and
it's the next evolution, bro.
Bro, clearly, man. I need to hear Blue Wraith next. You know what I'm saying? But
this is how I know. Sorry to cut you off, Mace. But this is how I know. Man. This is how I know that Nas and Hitboy are like head and shoulders above everything else, and how they're delivering product that speaks to everybody. You know what I mean?
Right.
Somehow it covers all the bases and it covers them well. You know what I mean? You'll have some songs, some music out there, some projects that like they try to like cover all the bases like a whack-a-mole. Like let me cover that base and then let me cover that base. But like the way that the way that their synergy works, the way sonically they've been able to work together, like because y'all are talking about certain songs that y'all are feeling, and then I'm thinking about some songs that y'all not mentioning that I'm like, yo, this shit gave me that feeling, bro. And but that
type of album,
right? It speaks to how like they could speak to everybody. You know what I mean? Everybody that loves good music, everybody that loves good rap, everybody that loves like the sonic production of it all. You know what I mean? Right off the bat, as soon as the album cut on, and you know what I mean? I think I've spoken about this on the podcast before. When I throw on an album that I'm excited about, I can't be in the house. You know what I mean? Like when I first started like really getting into music, it would always be outside. You know what I mean? And so I would throw my headphones, I would be outside, I'd be on a commute, I'd be on a walk somewhere, going somewhere, you know what I mean? So to this day, I still carry that with me. So like I'm walking outside, I throw on my headphones, I cut the album on, I press play, and like the smile that came on my face as soon as Fever came on, the first like 1 or 2 bars that came on, I was like, they got it. This is it. This is fucking it. Like I knew that they were tapped into an energy that the game needs, that I needed, that everybody needs in this culture, man. And like I can't say enough. Like shouts to Nas and Hitboy for this album. From the moment the first intro track came on, I was like, this is how you set off a fucking album. You know what I mean?
Damn, nigga. Like this, there's so many records, bro.
Right.
Jodeci Member. Oof. Come on, bro. Come on, man. Like, real quick, we jump all over this album.
Right.
But that final stanza, Jodeci Member, Speechless 2, Japanese soul bar, Nas at his absolute best. Yeah. When he's, to quote another cynicism, when Nas is in his rocking chair and he's like looking back on shit, That's when he's at his absolute best. The beat switch on that record.
Yeah.
The storytelling, the picture painting, and then to close it out with 1-800 Nas and Hit. The shout outs at the end, shouting out you know who yet again. That's that competition we love, bro. You don't think these niggas are still competing, but it's not beef, it's competition. Cause you know at the end of the day, cause nigga, I'm competitive as fuck. Yeah, nigga, we ain't beefing, but you want to call yourself to go? I just gave niggas 6, nigga. What you about
That's
to
crazy.
do?
That's got to be a symbolic number.
You gonna give niggas a 5-minute verse this time? Like shit like that. At the core of hip hop, bro, it's not about the beef, and it's about the competition. It's about the bravado, and to stick the landing in the final act of that album that way, bro, without it losing itself on a sonical level is beyond me. Because I'm not gonna front. You know, maybe I don't know if y'all do the same thing, but let me know. At a certain point when the album is so good, I'm waiting for the whack song to skip. I'm waiting for, I'm gonna skip this one right here. I couldn't find it. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah. Right. I couldn't find it, bro.
There was only good songs and great songs.
Boom.
Right. There was never a whack song. It was never a song that I was like, all right, I'm gonna just fast forward.
Nah, but Japanese Soul Bar Sin.
That crazy. But look, let me, since we're talking about the songs now, I already bloviated about Fever. You know what I mean? Like the energy that they set there, and you know, like if you go back and look back at some of our reactions, you know, I might have said one or two things about like how the album sets off. Speechless set it off beautifully on Magic.
I think that's still the best of the series.
It's still the best intro. You know what I mean? There was a couple albums where it was like, all right, you know what I mean? For me, like the ride really started at maybe like track 3. You know what I mean? This to me, Fever is up there with Speechless as far as setting off the album. Tisk, the second song. I feel like he was talking about niggas. You know what I mean? I feel like he was talking about.
I felt the way. I felt the way. I'm not gonna lie. I felt the way.
So many people that he could have been talking about. You know what I mean? Clearly, there's a lot of talking heads, and we're a podcast. We're talking heads.
I don't know, but you know what I
mean?
Couldn't tell if he was talking about podcasters or label execs, them little A&R niggas. I couldn't tell.
Label
but
execs,
I felt the way.
Maybe they're just a chatter on Twitter.
I felt the way.
Man,
it could have been anybody. But the fact that he addressed all the chatter out there, I love it. I love it.
You know what I mean?
I'm a proud nerd. I get girls too. Shit.
You know what I mean? What's some of my other favorites on here, man? No Tears is crazy because like not just sonically, like the production on it separates itself from the rest of the album, but not in a way where it sticks out like a sore thumb. It's just like still Hitboy is sonically in his bag, but like the beat itself, the instrumental, the composition itself is a little left of the rest of what's on the album. But the concept of this song, chef's fucking kiss, man. And honestly, like listening to this song, and then looking back on the cover of Magic 2, I'm thinking this could have fit perfectly on Magic 2. Not Nas, Nas' younger self talking to his older self and vice versa.
That shit was dope.
Incredible concept.
All the nostalgia beats in it. Ah, man.
That it worked on multiple levels. I'm sorry to jump in,
but as you talking, I'm thinking about the skits and shit.
Pulled it off perfectly.
Macito. Hold on, because we dominating. Mace ain't getting the cook.
Yeah, go ahead.
Nah, because listening to y'all cook sing, you mentioned how it like basically covers all bases, and it's like an album. It's blue collar, but it's luxury, right?
Hold on, Mace, stop.
What's the vibe?
You deserve to talk your shit. Never die.
Hey, you know what? That's where we was going, man. Mace. You know that's where we was going. Listen, man. And I hope, because Nas ain't never been one not to rap with Wayne. Nas been rapping with Wayne since what, the Damian Marley album is the first time I heard them together, if I remember. So they've been rapping alongside each other for a minute. Always showed each other love. I'm wondering if this was recorded when they got like that Billboard Lifetime Achievement together. I'm like, when did these two get in the stool? Because Wayne and Nas was rapping. Listen, when there was one feature on there, I was getting AZ parallels. You know what I mean? I was like, God damn, they don't throw Wayne as the only feature. It'd be a little crazy. You know what I'm saying?
Bullshit.
But you don't feel me? Like it ain't nobody to cover if he fucked this one up. But Wayne delivered, bro, and to deliver next to Nas at this level. With the way he's rapping right now, listen, if you doubt it to this day, 20 plus years later, I don't know what to tell you, but Wayne went the fuck off, bro. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Yo, go ahead, carry on. I just wanted to hear your Wayne take.
Nah, listen.
I needed to hear it because you've been holding on this session.
I wanted to hear y'all Wayne takes. Deanie lucky he going for this one because he the one that needs to, needs to talk some Wayne shit.
This was the Wayne I liked before niggas started saying he was the best in the world. You know what I mean? Like that late Cash Money, right before Young Money, that little Dipset pocket he was in.
That little squad up pocket.
Dipset Wayne, squad up Wayne, the cadence, the flow, the rhyme scheme where he held that same rhyme scheme for damn near the entire 16, like the breathing. Yo,
and I always look at it in a minute. And I always look at it at when we speak about that when people deliver those type of monster features. I always look at that as not only their own talent but their respect for who they rapping with. Ooh, you know what I mean? So I got it. Wayne knew. You know what I mean? This ain't no bullshit.
There was no throwaway bars. I was waiting for the throwaway metaphor. It's like, all right, bro, another wasted like metaphor. Thanks, Wayne. It never happened. He delivered.
The like metaphors work.
They tried to hop over Never Die, bro. You got to give Wayne his flowers for this one, bro.
You know what's crazy, and obviously, like it's gonna sound like horseshit. You know what I mean? In hindsight, but when we were talking about like when the announcement came a couple days ago, and we were talking about like our predictions, me and Jav, something in my gut was like, yo, I feel a Wayne feature coming, and I never said it because I was like, nah, it probably sounds too out there. It might not fit into the aesthetic of like the series of these albums. And lo and behold, the lone feature on the album was Wayne, man. And he did his thing, man. He did his thing, man.
It's forward thinking, bro. It's really forward thinking. So now I'm gonna drop the anvil now. I'm gonna put it out there.
Well,
this album right here. Sin already know what I'm gonna say because I kind of tipped my hand. This album right here is what Kanye was supposed to do on Nasir. This is the Kanye album. Sonically, this is prime Kanye. This ain't Kanye for 2017 when that was a decent year. This is early aughts, mid aughts, late aughts Kanye level Sonics, bro. This is the Kanye and Nas album we always deserved. It just so happened that Kanye was Hitboy.
That's some shit,
bro. This shit. I'm wildin', son.
No, you're not wildin'. This might be Hitboy. This might have been in the back of Hitboy's mind the entire time. You know what I mean? That whole moment when he felt like there was a rift between him and Kanye, right? Like. I forget exactly what the rift was, but I know in the back of his mind he was like, yo, like Kanye dropped the ball on Nasir. Because let's keep it a buck. He dropped the ball on Nasir. You know what I mean?
Every time he drops a Hitboy, it just makes Nasir stand out even more as far as the fumble that Kanye gave me.
And I love Kanye even to this day. The music that he's dropped, his career, even past all the fuck shit. You know what I mean? The music always stands the test of time. He's got classics upon classics. But he dropped the ball when I see it. You know what I mean?
Badly.
So
had my boy rapping in the back of the range.
Exactly. You know what I mean? The day before the album was supposed to drop. And here comes Hitboy. He was like, yo, I'm gonna show Kanye. I keep fucking up saying Conway. I'm gonna show Kanye what the fuck he was supposed to do. You know what I mean? And this is again the exclamation point at the end of it all. You know what I mean? This is what it is. You know what I mean?
Bro. Mace.
Listen, and the thing is, it's like we all mentioned the introspection, right? And that's the thing with this album. I'm gonna be honest. I don't think the album is super groundbreaking when it comes to themes or concepts.
Nah.
You know what I mean? And Nas himself is known as the conceptual MC. But when you release, it's hard to do that when you release 6 albums in 3 years, right? You're not waiting 5 years. That was for you, Benny. You're not waiting 5 years, to put out an album. It's hard to gather, topics. You rapping about all the shit you doing in real time. You know what I mean? But I say that to say that how can you make something sound so refreshing when it's topics that the topics aren't any different than KD3, if you ask me. You know what I mean? Looking over his life, thinking about his young self, thinking about his future, but the album sounds completely fresh. You know what I mean? How is that possible? Right. You know what I'm saying? So shouts to them for that, because to, have to rehash old themes but make them sound fresh, that's the hardest thing an MC could do.
And sonically, again, having dropped this many projects in this short amount of time, like it's so easy to go through the album and listen to a song and be like, oh, this song is good, but it was better 2 albums ago, right? Or this concept was fire, but he did that 3 albums ago. You know what I mean? Which was like maybe like a year or 2 ago. You know what I mean? Like at no point in this album did I say, you know what I mean, this is dope, but KD3. This is dope, but Magic. This is dope. Like this stands on its own 2 feet at the end of 6 whole projects in a row in 3 years. It stands on its own 2 feet, mad tall, overlooking shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Clearly overlooking everything else that dropped in this year. You know what I mean? Because been, I don't know where motherfuckers at for hip hop.
Yeah, listen, we'll do our comparisons and shit like that, but on day one, on Magic 3, day one, it's lapping Magic 2 for me personally. I'll listen some more. We'll talk about it some more. But as of right now, Magic 3. Matter of fact, I think I got an idea, y'all. I think we need to do an official Hitboy and Nas power rankings of all 6 projects. Yeah. Let's do a power rankings. In our opinions, where all of them are gonna fall. But for right now, not right now. In the future,
we just some guys.
You gotta have Dini here for that. You can't do it without Dini.
Right. I need to prepare for this. Goddamn.
But I'm putting this as of right now in front of Magic 2. I'm gonna listen some more, but I think it's clear and evident, bro. Sid, I need you to talk about the mixing. I felt like when I listened to this album, everything sounded like water, bro, pristine.
Yeah, man. Shouts to the engineer on this project. Man, I just had
David
his name.
Kim.
Thank you, David Kim. Yeah, man. This album sounded pristine, clean. The drums was hitting. The highs were highing, the lows were lowing. You know what I mean? The bass was cutting through perfectly. You know what I mean? And there was a couple of beats where it was like, you know what I mean? Like it just came in, and you almost felt like it was gonna be on some like just like the melody on some drumless vibe, and then the bass would hit, and I was like, God damn, that bass is basing like it's supposed to bass, bro. Low key, Sin is. I felt like Hitboy. I'm giving Hitboy a lot of flowers. You know what I mean? But like it kind of got in his Q-tip bag a little bit as well. Like the vibe and the sound. The low end.
Theory, you know what I mean? Yeah.
Low end theory, absolutely.
Not to just say, but we know everybody's inspired by Q-tip, but especially Ye. But the vibe of this album was very Q-tip-esque in certain pockets.
Also, real quick, Pretty Young Girl. So I kind of had a prediction. I said Primo would be somehow involved with this project, maybe a la Wave Gods. I'm gonna need to see like the full credits on this song. If Primo was not involved on this song, then this is the best Primo I've heard a non-Primo producer ever do. Outside of Primo himself, Hitboy Primo the shit out of this song, bro. The drums, the bounce, the chop of the sample, everything, bro. Pretty Young Girls, holy shit, man. I heard that and I was like,
this
gotta be Primo. This gotta be Primo. If it's not Primo, shouts to Hitboy, man. Like, holy shit.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, bro, I could be wrong. Nas fans, don't kill me. Don't kill me. I'm asking for leniency before I say what I'm about to say. If Nas decided to hang it up after this project, bro, I would not be mad. This project is so much up there, and I'm being honest. If he decided, you know what, I don't need to rap no more, this is the best way to go out.
I'm telling you, man, that last shot
said game 6, man. Yeah,
Utah.
He said game 6.
Chat, let me know.
Nah, you know what? No, you know what?
All right.
Fuck that, John. Fuck that.
Okay.
I want more.
You want more? All right. I mean,
I want more.
We don't agree with them stopping at 6, but you know,
right.
They made that choice. Nobody wanted this.
Why?
It'd be a great way to go out. I'm not gonna lie. Looking back on it, the lore of it, the story of it, it would make a great fucking movie. You know what I mean?
Winning time.
Hitboy and watch The Last Dance. Since said they the Bulls, we watched The Last Dance and we saw how sad MJ and them was looking up there talking about they left chips on the table.
Yeah.
Nas and Hit, man. Don't leave nothing on the table. Don't regret it later, man.
But there's no Jerry Krause in this situation.
But at the same time, you got to understand they play. You don't want to overstay your welcome, because as soon as that one drops and is universally panned, it potentially could dim the light on all the goodwill that you
don't put that energy out there,
no, I'm not. What I'm saying is that that's a play. Like, a lot of times you leave on a high before you give me a chance to criticize you. Like, if we're gonna leave, let's leave right now. 3 years, 6 albums, that's history in itself. So now if they come back a few years down the road, there is no attachments to the previous work. Most you can say is we'll compare it to, but it won't be bundled in with. So now they can take a couple years off and then try some new shit. Maybe we'll get the Alchemist album. Maybe we'll get the Primo album. Cashing my props tagged us on Twitter saying, listen to 30. Yeah. Was it 30? Yeah, it was 30. And he was 30, like, listen to 52 seconds, and between 52 and 54 seconds. And he be right. So maybe we get in the Primo album.
Yes, sir.
Primo, good brother, no disrespect, because y'all not a new narrative on YouTube. It's Jarvis Primo. You got, I can't believe I'm saying this to a legend, but you got big shoes to fill, okay? Because the minute this album don't hit right, the loud majority will say, "Where's Hitboy?" You know how the internet go. You dig?
Yeah.
If he
and
leave,
they'll be
bro,
right.
They hate you, then they love you, then they hate you.
Yeah, don't call Hope today, bro.
True.
Oh man,
that was my
crazy.
I don't know, but I feel like we could leave it here, B. I don't know if y'all got anything else to add. Make sure y'all hit that like button. I know we've been bloviating about Nas. Don't forget to hit that like while you in here now. You know what I'm saying?
Hit that.
RoundtableMerch.com. Don't forget about that there.
Rock with it.
Jodeci member. We talked about Jodeci member already.
It was a track I wanted to ask you about, Sin.
Nah, it was just so crazy. Like, my fault to cut you off, but even like when we coming into expectations, right? I'm looking at the track list. I'm like, based on true events, 1 and part 2, right next to each other. That's probably gonna sound a little crazy. And the shit worked completely. 2 completely different stories. One that was clearly him, maybe the other one, maybe not. I don't know. You know, I don't want to put nobody in jail. But even that fucking worked. 2 based on true events right next to each other, 2 different fucking stories, and even that shit worked. Like, everything.
And what's crazy, based on true events was so good, and then based on true events part 2 came right after and was like, oh god,
right?
You're not playing fair.
Yeah.
Not playing.
God, damn. And like there's certain
sitting
beats,
in my thoughts.
There's certain beats that I know Nas hears, and there's a difference between Nas rapping to a beat and Nas being one with the beat. And that based on true events part 2, that's Nas being one with the beat and then just getting into his storytelling bag. You know what I mean? We all know what a classic, incredible storyteller Nas is, super vivid with the imagery. That based on true events part 2 was fucking killer, bro.
So let me ask you this: the Speechless 2 maintain the legacy of Speechless One? Is there a drop off, or did he do right?
Nah, you know what was crazy about Speechless 2? I love that they didn't try to recreate Speechless 1 and recreate that energy and retread that path. They went in a different direction, and it hit just as well. You know what I mean? Not to say that it was as good or better than Speechless 1. Speechless 1 is like, just as an intro, the energy, like the attack on it is classic. But I love the fact that they gave it that title, but then they flipped the energy of it. You know what I mean? And that speaks to something that we talked about it. You talked about it, Job. You know what I mean? And Hitboy quoted you on it in his post. You know, shouts to that.
Hitboy, thank you.
You know what I mean? That just when you think you have these two figured out, you know what I mean? Because I saw Speechless Part 2 and I was like, oh shit, this shit got hard. Like I'm gonna have a fucking screw face to this shit. And it was a completely different energy. So like it was one of those examples of like, when you think you have them figured out, you don't have them figured out, bro. They're gonna give you something different. You think they're gonna go in one direction, they go in another direction. They've kept you on your toes this entire 6-project run. You know what I mean? And they have not once retread the same path.
It seemed like with Speechless 2, there was a certain, I don't know if I've ever heard Nas this way, where he was, dare I say, like proud of himself. He was satisfied with his career, himself, where he was at. He was speechless at the success, damn near, is the vibe I got from that record. And it was like, anytime you see a part 2 attached to something that was as good as a part 1, you already, for me at least, I know I go in ready to criticize, like, why did you name it that? You know what I'm saying? But to me, if this is the part 2, and it's specifically the position that it played on the project, it's not the intro track. It's clearly not trying to, as Sin said, recreate an energy. It's now not an intro, it's just part of the body of work. I'm okay with it being called Speechless 2 because it continues the story of Speechless 1 without taking away any of the energy or the vibe that it was meant to potentially take away if you're a skeptic, like, oh shit, Speechless 2, this is gonna be whack. Right. You know what I mean? Like, he delivered. I'll give him the credit for that one. I don't know, like, what'd you think about that Speechless 2 record? Because that's to me, Speechless 1 is so big that we kind of have to give part 2 its shine.
Nah, Speechless, I went into it nervous because Speechless, in this canon of Nas and Hitboy, right? Speechless is one of the more legendary tracks, right? So I was nervous. Just
Speechless
like
is the record that let niggas know Hitboy is here. You dig?
Right. Right. And just like Sin said, it's like you wondering, are they going to try to make it sound like the same shit? You know what I mean? But it worked. It wasn't the opener. It just was a great song, right? It wasn't overwhelming within the album. It probably is not my favorite on there, but it just was a great song in the mix, and it didn't offend me for it. You know what I mean? It didn't offend me. You know what I mean? New York State of Mind Part 2 type vibes. Like, this is a great song, completely unlike the original, you know?
There you go. Exactly. There you go.
Yeah.
All right, I think we're gonna leave it here. We got the live Monday. We might have some special guests for that live. We're in negotiations. We got some people with some dope hip hop takes that we love to bring on. You know, when Nas drops, we like to not only hear ourselves talk about it, but we like to bring people in who have elite opinions about the space and bring them on. I ain't saying no names. I ain't even reach out. Don't assume it's Ease, because I ain't even reach out to Ease. So don't put that out there, because y'all be swearing y'all know in the chat. And I ain't reach out to nobody yet except one person on Twitter, and he said yes, but you know, when the day comes, he might change his mind. But we trying to get a nice little, dare I say, all-star game situation for that. You know what I mean? For that live Monday Night Raw, get some heavy hitters in here, great opinions, great perspectives on hip hop to continue this coverage of Magic 3. Make sure you pull up at episode 80 is dropping right behind that on Tuesday. So we'll have all encompassing. Make sure you pull up with that. And before you leave out of here, hit that like button. Roundtablemerch.com. Copy. Let me show you what you copping. Get you one of these. Roundtablemerch.com, huh? Hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell. And if you haven't already, on a quick aside, go to Instagram, look up Lyrical Links. Get familiar with that artist. If you love rap and you love bars like a lot of y'all do, that's an artist you need to get familiar with. immediately. Lyrical links
Facts.
on Instagram. You know what, Mace? You could take us on for a change, bro.
Hey, why not? It's your boy Mace, the voice of the industry, you know, the voice of the middle-aged people these days. You know what I mean? Shouts to Sincere the Rap Snob, super fucking producer, the fucking mayor of hip hop soon, bro. You know what I mean? Shouts to motherfucking point guard, Jaw, man, having the best week ever. He deserves it, man.
Yeah.
And we are
Awesome
the
VH1
Rap
shit.
Roundtable. Yeah, yes, sir. And we are the Rap Roundtable. Let's get out of here.
Sir.
One last thing. Hip Hop
Oh, what's
50.
happening?
Hip Hop 50. Nas is 50. 6-album run. He stuck the landing. It's a beautiful time.
And he's taking a victory lap in Jay-Z's crib in a couple of weeks. How about that? That's a flex.
Facts.
Low-key, that's a
Oh,
flex.
man.
Catch us out there.
You know what I mean? Tap in. Peace.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.